Hey, what's happening? I don't know what episode number this is, and this is the Hoppitarian Show. But before we get started, I just want to
You
say
gotta
that
be more quiet.
this
You
episode
gotta be more quiet.
is brought to you by Going Commando. Are you sick and tired of wearing sheath underwear? Are you sick and tired of wearing Tommy John's underwear?
Look at this. I look like I punched someone. But literally, I just washed my hands too much.
Are you sick and tired of wearing Fruit of the Loom?
You're too loud.
Then just all you got to do is you just go commando. So going commando is where you don't wear any underwear, and it's great. You save money. You don't have to worry about, oh man, my underwear's got holes in it. You could just not wear underwear. So going commando it's a game changer. It'll change your life. And if you're done with the sheath underwear and the Tommy John's, and Fruit of the Loom or Hanes, like either you go from the top tier underwear, whatever they are, to the lowest brand crap like Hanes and Fruit of the Loom.
What's Tommy John's? What are you
That's
talking
another
about?
brand of underwear that I keep hearing
Why are you
other.
so loud?
I don't know.
Look, the microphone is right there.
I don't know, in case nobody can hear me, because I'm trying to be really serious.
He's trying to make the baby hear him so the baby will wake up.
No, I'm trying to tell him about this really important ad that we have. That
What,
someone's
you're
sponsoring.
selling?
Yeah, someone's sponsoring this episode.
So
And
nobody?
yeah, Going Commando. They're the ones that are sponsoring this episode. Going Commando. And yeah, so for a limited time, you can get 10% off by using our promo code HAPA when you go commando. So thank you very much. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, Going Commando, for sponsoring this episode.
All right, so I think we're gonna have to learn how to, talk in a normal voice, like how I'm talking right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is this better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, good.
Use your ASMR voice. There
Oh,
you
okay.
go.
And then when someone's in the car and they're trying to listen to the episode in the car, they're like, I gotta turn it all the way to like the highest volume. And then when they put their like a song or other podcast on, it's like, oh, sorry, gotta turn it down to medium.
Anyway,
I don't know if you could tell, but we haven't done this in a while. We haven't done this video.
Wait, if you're only listening to this, then you wouldn't know that we're on video.
Yeah.
So then you're gonna think we're really weird.
Yeah.
But we're recording this on video, so yeah, we actually cleaned up the place here.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It actually sort of almost looks like what it was when we were living in our previous area thing. House, whatever you want to call it.
Previous area.
Yeah,
we were in a cardboard box.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's gonna get weird because I remember
it's gonna get weird.
It's gonna get weird. No, seriously, it's gonna get weird. But no, for real. But seriously, I remember when we were first doing live streams, we're like, oh, we don't know what in the world. We still really kind of don't really know what we're doing. So we're in a way, why are we doing this? Who knows? Whatever. But when we were
this
first,
is your outlet.
Yeah, that's true. It is my outlet. It's a good outlet, I think. And then when someone reviews it, what? What?
There's an outlet behind you.
Oh yeah, there's an outlet behind it. It's true. Yeah. So literally and figuratively.
Look at this. This is insane. I need some towel.
She didn't punch me. If anyone's wondering, what happened to your hand? Why it's so red? She didn't like beat the crap out of me.
No, I ordered tallow balm and it's not here yet. So
but
now
that
my
doesn't
skin
explain.
Is falling off.
But that doesn't explain why your knuckles are red-ish looking. They have like a reddish hue to them. Why?
Because I keep washing my hands every 5 seconds. In fact, I gotta go wash my hands.
Now?
Just kidding.
Oh, I was like, oh my gosh.
Wait, you took me seriously? You thought I was gonna go wash my hands?
Oh man, I gotta wash my hands. I like touched something. I don't like
It's like, oh, I touched your arm. I gotta go wash my hands.
Yeah, that's pretty nasty. Sorry about that.
Anyway, are we ever gonna start talking about anything else?
I don't know. What do you think we should talk about?
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm kidding. So I guess some of the big news that's happening. Well, some of it's, I guess, kind of old because we were going to talk about last week, but then, like Thanksgiving and everything, we're preparing for that. And we wanted to wait till now. So hopefully for real, hope you had a good Thanksgiving because we're recording this the day after. So hope you had a good time. Hope you didn't have too much of a food coma, and hope you didn't drink too much. Right. Oh, and if you are going to go to the stores if you did go to the stores for Black Friday, I hope you didn't get trampled and like broke your
Killed.
yeah
I
yeah
guess you wouldn't be listening to this.
yeah yeah. There's always every single year Black Friday. There's always one story. Someone was trampled to death at a Target or a Staples or whatever.
And then
Staples.
and then you think
Who
like,
goes to Staples for Black Friday? Oh man, I got that. I gotta get that $1 pack of Staples right now.
they sell computers.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's always one.
Yeah,
So
but
I'm sure
can
there'll
you
be another
imagine
one this year.
like almost dying, and then you think about like, wow, I almost died to get an Instant Pot.
But an Instant Pot's really nice, so I wouldn't. It doesn't. That wouldn't surprise me. People trying to beat the crap out of me. I want that $50 Instant Pot. No, I'm gonna get it, and they fight to the death.
To the death.
Yeah.
For an Instant Pot.
Because they got to put the food in there, and they push a button, and then they leave it around for a few hours, and there you go. You don't have to do any work.
Not necessarily, but
I guess it depends on what you're making. Yeah. Okay, so now with all that out of the way, we're gonna get right to it for real this time. I swear. And so there was a shooting.
Hey,
what?
Now we're gonna get our video is gonna get taken down.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
We were talking about photography.
Yeah, we're talking about cameras.
There's a photo shoot.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to say.
In Colorado Springs.
There was a shooting though. People taking pictures and stuff. The media was doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, at a gay nightclub.
Gay lesbian nightclub. Yeah. Called Club Q. Didn't even know that existed until all this happened. That usually happens. Oh wait, there was a thing that I didn't know that. That didn't make any sense. There was a thing that what? So anyway, then they found out who did it. He got arrested and everything, and then he started using. Because I saw a little bit of a clip of this in an interview on CNN where the host was interviewing this, I guess, trans woman. I don't even know. A trans woman, I guess. So basically a man, right? Is that what it is? Trans woman's a man, basically.
What were they interviewing them for?
They were interviewing about the Club Q.
Was it? I heard that
but
people who stopped the shooter.
Yeah.
One was a drag queen. Is that what you're talking about?
No, it was
or no.
I don't exactly know the context of the interview, so I apologize about that. But the clip that I saw was the host was asking this person, like, hey, the perpetrator is now using they them pronouns, and that person was like, well, why would why are you trying to do this? Basically kind of saying like, oh, okay, they're just trying to like
make it political
or
I mean, in any other context
though, trying to lessen the impact of him or them. I don't even know anymore, but them, killing how many people was it? Like 6 people?
Yeah. In any other context though, wouldn't that be appropriate to say their pronouns in today's political climate?
Well, you could tell that person that was answering the question, they're like rolling their eyes and are saying, they're basically saying like, oh, you're trying to make us look bad or something like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. But it was just interesting, the fact that they're like, well, they're using they them pronouns, so what do you got to say about that? What? Really? You're gonna use they them pronouns?
Everybody makes it like any incident that happens now, like people make it political right away, and they try to guess what side the person's on. So I mean, let's not pretend that person who they're interviewing didn't do it too.
So let me see if I can find it, because it was kind of interesting. Okay, I found the video, so we're gonna listen to it.
We're gonna listen.
Natalie, when we started the show, we got a little bit of news earlier that the attorneys for the shooter are now saying that the shooter is non-binary, and the shooter would like to use the pronouns they, them. And this is for the court in all court papers. And that's what Anderson Aldrich's attorneys are saying. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think that's complete ludicrous. I believe they're just saying that because they want to have the easy way out on this. That's really, really offending, especially being a transgender woman myself, that a male, which it was obvious with the mugshot, that's a man, that's not a non-binary person, because in no way, shape, or form could they appear as a woman the next day. It's really offensive to even hear that they're playing that role. And if they're non-binary, why would you go after the club where you feel safe at? Why would you do that to a community where you are welcomed in if you are non-binary?
Yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting because he's, oh, they're taking the easy way out. And then it was also funny when they're like, well, that was clearly a man. That's clearly a man
I
in
don't
the
think you're allowed to
mugshots.
say that anymore.
I know. That's why it's just like, they're just going to openly say that. And they're just going to, as a trans woman myself, I think it's very offensive that this person would use they, them pronouns instead of non-binary.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's the difference? Like if someone else, if this person was didn't do this incident or like didn't do this,
then would they honor the pronouns? I wonder.
I mean, it all depends on the situation, apparently.
If it's a good situation, then that's fine. But
I just think it was funny when they're like, can't believe you would do this. Why would why would you do this to a place where apparently you're using they, them pronouns, you're non-binary? Why would you do this to people in an area, in a club where you feel safe? I don't know. Maybe he was having a bad day,
Yeah,
just because
when I have a bad day, I just.
But that's like, you're just assuming just because you're surrounded by other people who are trans or gay or lesbian that there's going to be no conflict whatsoever.
Yeah, I know. That's really elementary like thinking,
Yeah. So I don't know.
Well, okay, so I wanted to move on to some things about the shooter because am I allowed to say that?
Well, you said it now. You said it now.
Anyway, things that people were not. I mean, like people bring up politics and stuff like that, but I think a lot of this stuff ends up having to be tied to the person's childhood.
Yeah.
And it's really obvious in this case, like really, really obvious. So I don't know if you want to go to some of the tweets that kind of explain this, but
you want to go to this one first?
Yeah, let's do that first.
Okay, so I remember when this original thing or whatever was going around where it was that intervention show on A&E. It's like after injecting meth, Aaron masturbates for 10 to 12 hours. That's what the screen says, or the screenshot says.
So was that was on a show called Intervention?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't watch the show, so.
Yeah. And then that same person that tweeted that took a picture of that shot in the show, they quoted their own tweet and they said, so I just found out that this guy on Intervention who did meth and jacked off for 12 hours a day was the Colorado club shooter's dad. That's crazy.
I mean, it makes sense.
Like what are the odds that almost more than 2 years later, apparently, or whenever this was done?
Yeah, and okay, so the suspect also apparently tried to kill his mom with a homemade bomb.
Wow.
So obviously there were some problems there at home.
Mm-hmm.
And evidently, well, when you see his mugshot, then there is something important. All right, so for people who are just listening, in the mugshot, you can see the back of this person's head, the suspect's head, because they're doing a side profile. And well, first of all, he looks pretty beat up, but that's because the people at the club, when they were trying to stop him, they, you know.
No, he just looks like that normally. He just has
I know,
purple
right?
spots all over his plate, you know, all over his face.
But anyway, so his head is like super flat in the back. And so the medical term for that is plagiocephaly, or there's other terms. I can't remember. It depends on which part of your head is flat, but it basically means that so when you're an infant, like under 12 months old, your head is very malleable. So like your skull is not fused together yet because your brain has to grow to like your normal size. So like the plates of your skull are not fused together yet. So depending on if you're laying too much on one side of your head or on the back of your head, you can get a flat spot. So
because the baby's head is still forming and it's still soft.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's like Play-Doh in a way where, you know, you leave a Play-Doh kind of, or if you kind of push it, it'll form.
Or if you leave it there for 12 hours a day, then it's going to look like that.
So that's why when, as an infant, that's why like for us, when we were helping like with our son, kind of with the like the physical stuff, the physical therapy, the like tummy time, whatever, and kind of keep his head up and have him flat on his chest and everything like that, instead of on his back all the time, like you were saying.
Yeah, and a lot of it is caused by putting babies down to sleep on their backs, because then the back of their head will get flat from being like, you know, I mean, babies sleep a lot, so they're on their back a lot. But basically, to prevent that, you need to pick up the baby a lot and put them on their stomach or in other positions so that they don't develop a flat spot. Or if you do notice a flat spot, then you need to start doing physical therapy. Or if it's already past the point where you can fix it, then you need to do a helmet. So
like a football helmet?
No, like a plagiocephaly helmet.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So if you look at that guy's mugshot, though, his head is like super, super flat, which indicates that he was neglected a lot as an infant and put down a lot. Like, because there's no way that, like, if you were just a normal parent, that you wouldn't notice that, you know? Like, you wouldn't not notice that your baby's head is completely flat in the back, like so flat that it's going up.
Yeah.
Like a cone.
Well, it makes sense now that apparently that guy that was on that show was doing meth and doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And then you see him, you're like, okay. I mean, obviously it doesn't excuse his actions, but
it just kind of gives like a background story to it.
Yeah. I mean, like before when all this was going on, it was like, I mean, it was tragic, but then when like learning about that, it's just like, okay, I mean, it seems like a lot of the people that do these type of things, it's not going to be some person who's like, oh, I feel I'm happy, and I feel good, and and then out of nowhere, they're just going to start, blowing people away, like it's always someone where, yeah, they're neglected as a kid, and their parents were they're smoking crack and doing whatever, doing drugs, whatever. And it kind of got me thinking, okay, so like with nature versus nurture debate that people have all the time. It's like, well, in nature, like if you're in a good situation, then that's it. Or if your parents are good and they nurture you okay, then that's okay as well. But then also it could be, well, you were born in a bad situation, and also your parents don't care about you and whatever. So there's that. But then what if you're born in a bad situation, but your parents do care and they take care of you? There's examples of people who they're poor. A lot of you see a lot of the rich people, they start out poor and now they're millionaires, or they're doing great financially or whatever. And I don't know. So it kind of just got me thinking, about that a little, about the nature versus nurture thing or whatever, because I don't know. Another reason why I was thinking about that too is like, this is kind of off topic, but it's got me thinking about it. Like a lot of, and again, like this has nothing to do with this, but for some reason I was just thinking about this, like child actors,
Yeah.
how their families are doing great, they're rich, but
The situation is bad.
Not all of them. Yeah, not all of them end up like this, but a lot of them end up where they're doing drugs, they're drinking, they're just partying and doing whatever you can imagine. All the Hollywood stuff, all the like the bad Hollywood stuff you can think of, they're doing that because it was just work for them, and their parents weren't. The only type of attention that the parents were giving them was, hey, you got to make sure you're on set and you're doing your job, and then when you get home, just practice your lines. They're not like actually caring and giving them the love that they were wanting to get as a kid, because to them all they know is
like
work.
A product.
Yeah.
In that aspect, I would think that how you're raised really depends on who you become as an adult.
Yeah. So, I mean, like for us, that's something that we think about all the time, is that we're really trying our best to be good parents. And I don't know, maybe this will be able to put a damper on it, but I'm sure those parents out there's like, I did everything I could. I raised my kid as best I could, but for whatever reason, they still ended up.
Well, hopefully not anyone listening to this would be like, yeah, my kid ended up being a school shooter.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. It just kind of makes you wonder, like, what was the, like the motive, obviously, but then it's like, well, why? I don't know. It makes me wonder, like, okay, so like smoking meth is not good. Doing crack and all that is not good. Why do people do it? I just don't get it. I don't get that whole
they want to escape. Anyway, this is getting like way off topic.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. That was just kind of the things I was thinking about when we were talking about this, and when you were showing me all that stuff before, like the plagiacephaly and stuff like that. So that was just my thoughts on that. Like my just spouting out words out of my mouth.
Where else would you be spouting out words?
My ass, apparently.
Okay, anyway, we're going to move on to our second topic because we're running out of time here.
Yeah.
I know we keep talking about Elon Musk, but he's kind of like relevant right now, so.
Yeah. If you haven't heard us talk about this before, apparently, I don't know about like how true it is, but it's probably more likely to be true that he uses.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. Go ahead.
It's true.
Maybe I'm moving on.
This is a fact, okay?
How do you know?
Because, okay, first of all, he's open about it.
Yeah.
And also, some of them were born. We didn't even say what we're talking about. Okay, wait. Let's start over again.
Sorry, I was going way ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, so we're talking about Elon Musk using IVF,
Right.
because most of his children were born or were conceived via IVF.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like one of the reasons you know that is because like some of them were through surrogates, and that's the only way to get pregnant as a surrogate. Unless you're doing the traditional way, which
can you
would be
imagine?
like,
Yeah. We're gonna have sex with a surrogate, but that's our baby.
Okay, like when I was a kid, I like you don't think about that much. You think like, oh, okay, they just have sex and then they have a baby, right?
Yeah, I mean that's a normal thing you would think about,
But now that I know all about TTC, then if you think about having a surrogate the traditional way, then it means you have to have sex with them several times a month around a certain time.
It'd be even worse if it didn't even work.
Yeah. No,
but I don't know. Hold on a second.
Wait.
But okay, if you have, how are we talking about? If you have sex with a surrogate and it doesn't work, is that actually worse than it actually working? Because I don't know.
Well, isn't the point to get pregnant for the other woman?
Yeah, but is it their egg though?
No, it would be like the traditional way. Like I'm talking about, like, like before IVF existed. It would be like, I get my mistress pregnant, and then they'll give us the baby, and we'll raise it as our own. That kind of thing.
Okay.
It's kind of like you have a surrogate and an egg donor, I guess. But the thing that's like messed up about it is that you have to have sex with another person in order to do it.
Yeah, that's kind of
No,
weird.
I
right?
saw this.
Think
This
about
is
that.
like totally unrelated, but I saw this story on Reddit.
How many unrelated things are we going to talk about on this
I don't know.
episode?
I've heard of people talking about like, so I'm infertile and my husband wants to use a surrogate, but he wants to do it the traditional way to save money, and I'm like, that's just that. I mean, that just sounds like he wants.
Let
to
me
have
see a
sex
picture of that surrogate. Let me see.
Yeah, I know, right?
Let me see. Is it some ugly hag? I doubt it's because
No,
he's saving money.
the one I'm thinking of was the girl's younger sister.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was like 31, and the girl's sister was like 20. I'm like,
gee, that's a big difference.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
how old's the guy? Like 35 or something?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
And it's like,
Jeez.
no, you just want to
And
have sex with her sister several times a month.
But did the sister say anything about, like, she's like, oh,
Well, she was the one posting on Reddit asking, like, should I do it?
Oh, she's the one that was
Yeah,
like,
and people were, and because she was like, they're gonna pay me, and then people were like, are you kidding me?
Oh, okay.
You're being like taken advantage of. Anyway, so we're talking about IVF, actually, not having sex with other people. Yeah, actually, there was this thing. I don't know if it was in that article or if it was in a different article.
It was probably in a different article, because I think the one you're talking about was behind a paywall, and I ain't gonna pay no freaking.
Okay, well, there was like someone who did like a story on Elon Musk, and he said that he doesn't even really like to have sex, which is just funny because I don't know. It's just like, oh, we're gonna semi-serious relationship. Time to go to the IVF clinic.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the one that I saw where it's kind of talking about that. So the headline is Pronatalism Explained: Why Tech Titans like Elon Musk Want to Have Tons of Kids to Save the World. So I don't know 100% if this article kind of relates to what we're saying, because like the bullet points, like tech titans like Elon Musk want to counteract effects of population decline by having lots of kids.
He's tweeted about that before.
Yeah. Some hope that their children will be instrumental in preventing existential threats. One founder suggested that thanks to investment in fertility tech, we're reinventing reproduction.
Yeah, so like, I think, or this is my theory, and I think it's right based on this article, is that one reason why he likes IVF is because you can choose to do genetic testing and then just choose the most genetically superior embryos, which sounds totally like something he would do.
What is that? Is there a term for that? Like transhumanist?
Yeah, he said he's a transhumanist.
Oh, okay. I feel like I've mentioned this before. Him being a transhumanist and stuff like that.
I mean, I like how they're talking about in this article that they act like this is like an irrational fear or something, that birth rates are falling in developed countries, which is actually a problem. But it doesn't mean that everyone has to do IVF. Well, I mean, if you can have a baby from having sex, then you should probably do that. Like, and the only reason Elon Musk is doing IVF probably is because he's obsessed with like picking the best genes.
Yeah. I mean, if he's worried about that, maybe he should start doing it with some Asian people, because the birth rates there are pretty low, right?
He's going to save the birth rate of Korea by himself.
He's got the money for it. He just bought Twitter. He's tweeting whatever. He's got time.
And he won't even have sex with them, though. He'll be like, hey, I need the best, the smartest, and the best looking Korean women to meet me at the IVF
There's going to be a bunch of...
Actually, he doesn't even need to meet them. He just give his sperm samples and then be like, just be here at this time for your egg retrieval.
It's such a weird, like, if that's like a fetish or a kink of his, that's kind of a weird... It's, oh, man, I love seeing that needle go in there and...
No, he's not even there. He's too busy.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
There's that other article.
That is right. He did have he was interviewed saying, "I got too much on my plate right now." Oh, really? Wow. You're SpaceX and Twitter and the other thing that he's doing that I can't.
Tesla?
Oh, Tesla, right? Tesla. Yeah, that's right. Tesla.
Yeah.
That's the thing that he pretty much was known for at the beginning, right? Was Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
And then SpaceX, and now he's the
And
owner
now
of Twitter.
Twitter.
And now all the people are freaking out. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this guy. I can't believe it. All these people are coming back. First they were out, and now they're back in.
And that's the real news.
That is the real news.
Speaking of Twitter, guess who else is back on Twitter?
Who's back on Twitter?
Donald Trump.
You know, actually,
but you know what's funny? He hasn't tweeted because I think he has like a legal obligation to stay on the other thing.
Truth Social, yeah.
Truth Social.
Well, I was actually listening to Part of the Problem. They had a good Robbie the Fire Bernstein. I don't know why the Fire is like a part of his name now. You should just change your name to Robbie. Just change it legally to Robbie the Fire. Everyone calls you that.
His last name is what is it called?
Bernstein.
No, his last name will have to
Robbie
be...
the Fire Burn.
Yeah, that's the point.
Oh.
He's gonna have to legally change his middle name to the Fire.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Robbie the Fire Bernstein. Just change your name to Robbie the Fire whatever your middle name is. That kick it out of the window. Your new middle name is the Fire.
You know what's funny when you're like filling out like legal papers or something, and people will be like, "How do you pronounce that? Is that the Fire, or is that all one word or?"
No,
what?
it's two words. And you put in quotes. Robbie, quote, the Fire Bernstein. There you go. There's your name.
You have to put it in quotes too.
Yeah. Anyway.
What were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say that he made a good point about the reason why Trump hasn't, at least not as of now, he hasn't tweeted on Twitter yet since he's been reinstated. Because he's got I think he's like a partial owner of that website or whatever, so he's kind of obligated to because if he stops using his own website to go use Twitter now, exclusively, then it's like, well,
it's gonna look bad.
Yeah, but because he's running for president as of now, then and you have more reach on Twitter than you do on Truth Social.
He's going to have to go back on Twitter if he wants to win, or at least try to win.
I mean, if you want to keep some of your exclusive posts on Truth Social, then yeah, definitely have that, so people will have more obligation to want to go there. But you have to start using Twitter if you really want that, because I mean, you used it last time in 2016. Well, I mean, you lost in 2020, but in 2016, it's like, holy crap, this guy came out of nowhere in the political spectrum and basically used Twitter to his advantage, and arguably you could say he used Twitter to win the election,
Yeah. Maybe he just can't think of a first tweet.
It's like, man, what am I going to say? I'm back.
He should just say Cafefe.
That's what I was thinking, Cafefe or something. Because, I mean, if you say I'm back, that's hack. Because Michael Jordan did that when he came back to play basketball. It's like, I'm back. Like, oh, that's cool. That's already been done. You got to do something else. It's got to be something.
Isn't that just like the normal thing to say? I'm back.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's been done before.
You should just tweet space.
The final frontier. These are voices.
No. I mean, like literally just a space, and then hit send.
Is it the space bar? Yeah. It's like, what does he mean by this? He means he wants
some space.
Wow. He's gonna do a Twitter space.
You know what? That feature wasn't on there before he got suspended, so he should do a Twitter space. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, he can do a Twitter space. He can.
There'll be like 5 million people in there.
Oh my gosh, that'd probably be the biggest space ever.
Is that how we're gonna end this?
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching us make a fool of ourselves. The first time in a while, and I was gonna say long time, but I said while, so it might have sounded weird when it came out. While
I keep yawning, and it's because this is past our bedtime. So
past our bedtime, we're like 7 years old. It's past our bedtime. I gotta get my teeth in.
No, what?
If I have the dentures, I gotta put my teeth in the
But you just said we're
You're right.
You just said, are we 7 years old?
I thought I said 70. Are you sure? I'm gonna listen to this. I'm pretty sure I said 70.
I heard 7.
17.
No, 7 years old. You're gonna get. You're gonna go put your dentures.
Speaking of someone who's being loud. Anyway.
Yeah, you mean you?
Not me. What are you talking about? I've been quiet this whole time. Anyway, so again, thanks for watching and listening. We really appreciate it. And again, this episode is sponsored by Going Commando. 10% off.
Can you stop getting loud when you talk about?
I'm really gung-ho on Going Commando. You know what I'm saying?
Look, we all know you're not wearing. Okay, fine.